Hi everyone, my name is Liz and today is February, I think it's the 3rd. I can get something to tell me. Yes. February 3rd. I am a maker. I knit, crochet, spin, needle felt, quilt, sew, cross stitch. I do all kinds of stuff, whatever I feel like making at the moment or trying out. So you could hear about all kinds of stuff, but primarily knitting and crocheting is what I do here. If you like what I have going on here, please feel free to like, subscribe, and comment if you decide you want to talk to me. I'm pretty good about responding. And I'm also over on Instagram at Liz's Fiber Nook. Let's see. Anything else? I don't think so. So let's get rolling here. I did not write down a bunch of notes, so if I seem a little scattered, I might be. I thought if I don't get going right now, I might not do it today, and it'll just be longer and longer and longer. I don't want to get too rusty. And let's see. I would like to show you. It's not a current fit. It's an old finished object because we are in the month of February, so we have one this month before March, and March is generally when the weather starts to get a little better. Depends on the year. Some years we go through March and it's just another month of winter, and sometimes by beginning of March it starts to show us its spring ways. So I wanted to cover some things that I use in case you need some ideas and want to get started now so they're ready for when you're ready to go. Hint, I did not bring my bike helmet, which would be important to why I made these the way I did. All right. I did this is I called it a neck warmer. I guess you could call it the smallest cowl ever. I just wanted it to, when I'm bike riding and it's cold, I have my coat and things, and I just need to keep things, the cold air off of my neck. So let's see here. And I made it in ribbing so that it would expand really well and shrink in really well. Anyway, this way, when I have my coat on and stuff, it comes up to here and it's covering all the important bits. And then I did I've seen these out there before. What do they call them? It's not a headband. It's essentially a headband. I made it so that I can wear it like so. My glasses always interfere. I always feel like my glasses are being shoved down on my nose, but it is what it is. And then I can put my bike helmet over the top and clip it under my chin. And it keeps my ears warm. I'm one of those people that get ear aches really easily. So I'll cover up what I did here. I didn't do this with pattern. I just decided I needed something that goes with my bike helmet that I can use with my bike helmet, and rolled with it. First of all, I'm going to tell you the yarn. The yarn was Dream Color 100% wool by Hobbii. It's Hobbii or Hobby. I don't know. Hobbii. They had a sale on their website and I purchased a bunch of them. I still have some. And then the colorway on this one is a number, so it's number 17 if you're interested in this particular colorway. I have one that leans more green, blue, but I haven't made a project with it yet. Okay, so that's that one. This was 4x4 ribbing. I did mine in 4x4 ribbing. Most things I prefer 2x2 ribbing, but I just went with it. In this case, I cast on the number of stitches that work for my neck. I don't know what that number is because I did not write it down, because it's only important to my neck size. It would not be important to your neck size, because you could have a skinnier neck than me, or a bigger neck than me, or shorter or longer. Those are things you'll just have to try it on and decide what works for you. Anyway, so all I did is just that little, so it covered up that section of my neck while I'm bike riding. So if you're a cycler, that works for me. And then this is a tube. I also don't know how many I cast on. I just determined how much of a band I needed to make sure my ears were covered and some of my forehead. I knit it until there was enough, and then I'm pretty sure, yes, that's the spot right there. I think I did pretty good. I Kitchener stitched it together, and it's right there. So when I got it to the width that I wanted it, which you're going to want it to have, I don't know, what do you call it? Well, I do know what you call it. I'm not sure if you want it to have some negative ease, so that when you slide it on, it sections to your head a little bit. Kind of like if you were making a, do they call them skull cap hats? I think so. And then that way it stays nice and snug to your ears. I don't think I have anything else to say about that. But it does fit me when I put my helmet over. I snug my helmet on and then buckle my helmet in and stuff. Then I wanted gloves so that my fingers don't freeze off while I'm holding the cold handlebars. Now, I do not think my gloves by any stretch of the word are perfect. I'm going to tell you what I didn't follow a pattern. I kind of created them a little bit like I would have done a sock. I don't know. I made it up as I went. But there are plenty of glove patterns out there if you don't want to wing it. I wasn't as happy with some of my join spots when I got up here and I added and started doing fingers. I wasn't so happy with the connectors, not so bad. And then I figured out how to make sure I started my thumb so I actually have a left and a right leaning thumbs. I think that turned out fine. Here's what I didn't like about this particular yarn with making mittens, or not mittens, gloves. And these were my bike riding gloves, wasn't mittens, not worrying about it. If you get something that has kind of a striping to it, which if you look at this, it does. It's striping. Oh, this one shows it pretty good too. It means when you have to disconnect or reconnect to add something, you're breaking your stripe. Do you see this? It stripes here because that stripe goes into making this finger, and then it starts this finger and it ends, and then this comes back over here and stripes up here. This one ended up, see that? Ended up green, and then when I started doing this, if you don't mind that look, you're okay. If that's going to drive you crazy, maybe striping, you're going to have to plan striping. You might end up losing some yarn over it. And I don't like to waste yarn, so I just ended up with what I ended up with. So if you want something like this for springtime and you're a bicycle rider, you might consider making yourself a set for cycling. I'd start now. You have a good month and a half to get rolling and stuff. All right, enough about those. I can't give you super big details because I just made them up in my head and cast on whatever I thought would work for my measurements and stuff. I don't remember if I ended up having to pull things out. I think I did. Like, I didn't cast on enough stitches, so I cast on a few more stitches and then restarted again. I did that probably, they're going on their second year with me, or they've been through 2 years. Yeah, they've been through 2 years. All right, next. This is funny. And if you have an idea for me about what, I don't want to frame this and put it on the wall. Never have. That's why it's been poked into something. Anyways, I was digging around and organizing, and I found it again. And I was like, I really need to do something with it, but I don't know what to do. So if you have ideas, like a quilt or a something. I don't want to do a pillow either, so sorry, no pillows. Here is a cross stitch I did in 1998. I did, before I even had children. I used to work on projects during my lunch break at a place I worked. And I finished this guy. I like how he turned out. I just don't know what to do with it so that it's seen and used. And I'm not a person who likes to put a bunch of stuff on my wall. So if anyone has any idea, just land it in the comments and we'll see if I can figure something else out. Anyway, they're not things I finished recently, but they are things that I finished, I use, or I wish I could use. All right. Now for works in progress. I have always a bunch of those. I'm going to get out a baby blanket that I've been working on for a baby that's due in April. It's going to be a girl, and Mom likes the color pink. I'm working on a corner-to-corner blanket. Oh wow, that got blown out really bad. I am a little over halfway done. I'm almost, when I get done with this black stripes, I'm doing 8 rows per stripe. When I get done with that black stripe, I will be done making it longer because I'm making it rectangle, not square. It's a corner to corner, and I'm following the Red Heart Classic Corner to Corner Throw. It is a free pattern. Super easy, highly recommend it. You start at literally the corner with your little, and then you expand them out until it is the width you would like. And then you start going up the side, making it your edging, and then you continue to go up the side until it's the length you want. Maybe I can give you the, we can get you the color. Okay, stop that. All right, that's a little better. All right, I'll tell you about the yarn. So I'm using a size F hook. Usually with Okay, hold on, I gotta back it up a little bit. I am using, let me tell you about the yarns first, and then I'll tell you about why I chose that particular hook size. I thrifted this yarn at the thrift store for $3. I got a whole, there's 1, 2, 3, 4. There was 7 in here. This yarn is called Sugar and Spice. It's 100% acrylic. And what's the color? Hold on, I'm looking for Taffy. Taffy is the name of the colorway. The friend that I'm making this for is a childhood friend of my daughter's, and she loves pink, so probably nice that she's having a girl. The weight of this yarn, I believe, is sport weight. It does not say it on the thing, the tag, but it feels like sport weight, and I think a lot of baby yarn is sport weight. And then I am using Karen Simply Soft in black. It's black colorway. And this is DK weight. You'll be able to see the difference. I'm going to put a border on it. No one will know. Can you kind of see the edge? It's because this is a little thinner than this. The hook size I chose to use is a smaller one than I would use for the DK. I usually use a G hook for the DK. But I went with the one I wanted to use for the sport weight. So the sport weight's where I want it, and it's a little bit tighter for the DK. I'm going to do a DK border. That'll even it all out. It'll never be super noticeable that I use 2 different size yarns. I don't generally recommend that. It's just that it's going to be able to work in this particular instance because it's a blanket and I'm doing a border. It'll fill it out and it'll block out nice. There won't be any like weird shrinking or anything. They're both acrylic. I would not mix a wool and an acrylic. That's a great way to turn your blanket into a funky accordion. I should have this done by the next time I talk to you. I've been working on rotating this between my blanket and this blanket. I get a whole solid stripe done on this, then I work on my blanket for a while. I actually worked on my blanket until I finished an entire skein of yarn. Then I go back to this one and work on an entire stripe. And then as it starts to go down, it'll go so much faster. Anyway, I'm going to put that back over here. Basket out of the way. And then next, I've been working on my blanket, as I said. I have not shown you this blanket for a long time. It's been difficult to get out and work on. I'm not going to pull the whole thing out. It is a giant queen size blanket, and I'm about halfway on it. You've seen it last when I was right here, so this is how much I've achieved in the several months since you've seen it. And this is a block stitch. If you want to know more about it, you can go back to some of my first videos. We're on episode, I have no idea. It's back in episodes 1, 2, 3, 4. Those ones I've talked about it because I was really working on it then. Because I pulled it all out and recrocheted the whole thing. I should have been done with this a long time ago, but flaws and mess ups led to it's not. Alright, I'm not going to talk about that anymore because no reason to. Then I have a works in progress that I cannot show you because this is what I'm working on. It's a cross stitch and it's a family tree. And because I don't share personal information on Facebook, I'm cross stitching my family tree. So it has my family's names on it, and I have 3 blocks done. So it has like my children's name, my name, my father's name, and our personal information, because I'm making it a true family tree. But this is the pattern I'm using to start this out. And eventually, if I can figure out how to block out, I think if I take little pieces of fabric and pin them to the squares, I can block them out so people of the public, sorry, that means you, don't get to read and see my personal information. And eventually, so I'll show it to you when I figure out how to pin cover those up. And then, but I did make significant progress on that. And then my next work in progress is the socks that I've shown you before. And I did find the ball band, so I can tell you what colorway it is. Here's where it was when I showed you. Here's where it was when I showed you last. I got all this done. I am still not sure if these are for my daughter, because of the I just want to make sure she likes how it fits and it doesn't have any spots in it that are bothering her feet. She's sensitive to those kind of things. And she had asked any socks that I make for her to be like taller. So I probably have a good 4 inches to go on these. I'm guessing. A good 4 inches to go on these. And then I'll be done. These have taken, just to get to this point, I think I've been working on these for maybe a month and a half, so 6 weeks. I can be quicker, but these were only meant to be worked on in the car, doctor's offices, things that need to be worked on at home, like blankets and things that I have to read patterns for, are what I work on here at home, not these. Even though it's tempting sometimes to just, let's get them all in. I might do a push to finish these, though, because I want to work on more baby socks and what do they call those, hand covers, so the babies can't scratch their face. I want to do some of the little hand covers. And I would like these needles to do them on, because I have a long cord and I can cast on several. I could be working on several at one time. That works for me. Alright, and this yarn was called, it's Peyton's Croy, and it's called Midnight Orchid. I'll hold it up here. Midnight Orchid is the colorway on that one. Then I think that's it on my works in progress. I am going to start working. All right. Let's go into goals. That'll let me lead into this. Goals. I have a turtle puppet. I'm not going to show you here. I'm thinking about doing a video. I don't know what a tutorial set. Like a part 1, part 2, part 3, how many ever times it takes me to get it done. Where I show what the problem is. The problem is I put him through the wash machine because he had gotten gross stuff on him that was just wiping off, or hand surface wiping was not going to cure this problem. So it went into the wash machine, even though it recommended not go in the wash machine. Well, the material for the shell peeled up. It was just mess. And I was very sad because he was really cool. Sorry, I have a hair. That's driving me crazy. And he's a really cool turtle puppet. He's a big old tortoise turtle puppet. And I've been thinking for almost a year how the heck I'm going to fix it. I went and found fabric at Joann's Fabric, and I would like to figure out how to fix it. So I'm going to be seam rippering his shell off. Don't want to talk too much about it here because it's not necessary. I'm thinking about doing a video where I show him, explain that, and then another video like a part 2 that shows my process of ripping off because I don't know how it's going to go until I'm into the thick of seam ripping things off, and I don't know that I can run him through the sewing machine. I believe I'm going to have to hand sew the new fabric on and trim it down as I go, because I don't know how much fabric it's going to take to do his indented in shell. So I'm thinking about doing a follow along with me repairing that sort of video series. We'll see. Might even start today. I don't know. But it's my goal. Next is finishing up those socks and getting the baby things cast on. I need to continue with the baby blanket and my blanket. It's been sitting for so many years. I would really like to see this thing finished and the yarn out of my yarn stash and put into the actual blanket it was bought for. Unfortunately, there is going to be some color differences, and I feel like I can live with that. If it was for somebody else, I might be a little upset about it. It shows that the yarn that I have, because I bought it at 2 separate times, because this blanket has been in the works for at least 10 years. What do I say? It's a queen size blanket. The yarn bands are the old yellow ones, and now they're white ones. And it says it's the same dye lot. It is clearly not the same dye lot. There is definitely a difference. There will be some, I'll call it striping, or a definite color change, because when I run out of the older one, I will go into the newer one, and there will definitely be some color changes. It is what it is. I'm okay with it. It's a personal blanket for myself. There's nothing I can do about it except for rip it out, which I'm not going to do again, or just not do it and have a giant quantity of yarn I'm not sure what to do with. Just going to finish it and do it. The baby blanket finished, and that turtle. That's my goals before I see you next. I'm still sort of working on the monkfish Sam. I put a pause on it because I really need to get the baby blanket done. Monkfish Sam does not have a timeline. Baby blanket has a timeline. My blanket doesn't have a timeline except for the part where I'm trying not to not look at it and work on it. It'll never get done that way. All right, that leads me into purchases. I've purchased some yarn and stuff. I've already put it away. You'll see it when I make a project with it. I bought it for a project, so you'll see it eventually. However, you already seen one of them. These are blockers. I got a set, and hold on, I'm going to stand up because I have them all hanging up here. These two came with this set. These are off of Amazon, and it comes with a sock blocker. I call these medium-ish, a mitten blocker, and a glove blocker. I really wanted this set for the mitten and the glove blocker. Then I got the, hold on, let me count the pack. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So the next one is a 6-set blocker, and it was recommended by the Crazy Sock Lady, is who said it. Too bad it doesn't have an even tinier one for baby socks. I would use that one because I've been making a lot of them. Anyway, so you got this size, kids, probably for your 5-year-old maybe. Then you got, sorry, kind of unwieldy when you hold the whole pile. This size, probably your 9-10-year-old. And then I got these ones. Anyways, they just keep going up in size. So those are those. And that way you can wet block. You can block them if you want. Or in my case, just show them to you as well. Okay, that's... Oh. And I follow Fiber Trek on YouTube. And she was making books. And this is a book she recommended. And I've been wanting to do this for certain my crafting journals that I do. I would like to do this. And I have a couple really important books to me that I would like to repair, but I don't know how. This is a rabbit hole I'm not going down for a little while, but I wanted to make sure to get a hold of the book that she was following that I liked the details on. So that's it on that. So if you haven't checked out already, life for me, today it is snowing like crazy. I'm hoping not to leave the house today. I have things to do. I now have 2 foster puppies with me. Opie's brother TJ came back. Person who had him was experiencing some health issues, and he confessedly said, I've never raised a puppy a day in my life, and it's not going so well. And so he came back to me. So I have 2 puppies here at my house that are foster puppies. I've been working on trying to teach them things so they're doing well in their potty training. They're not chewing up my house because they have plenty of things to chew on, and I don't leave them unsupervised. Anyone interested in adopting a couple puppies, they're available. You can ask me about them and we can talk. They're good little boys. And besides trying to get my crafting done, I've been struggling with winter depression. The month of January and February are always pretty rough for me each year. I don't like winter. I don't like cold. I don't like the darkness. I'm not the only one. My son struggles with this as well. He doesn't say anything verbally about it because he's minimally verbal. But I can tell his moods change, and I can tell that he's having an issue. So I'm doing all I can to just my crafting, all my stuff. I struggled. I should have more done for this video. It's been 5 weeks since I've posted, and I should have more done, but I don't, because there's times where I've just sat here And I failed to launch. I just sat here and did nothing. I'm really fighting against that. It happens every year. I try to stay away from people because they make me mad. They make me mad because everything makes me mad. Or upsets me or gives me anxiety. Everything's just all the bad vibes are just elevated, and I know this, so I just have to continue to work on it and just go, make it to spring, then I can get my bike out and go bike riding, and my garden will start to come up again, and I'll start to see spring flowers like daffodils and things. So if you're struggling, you're not the only one. It'll be okay. Just take some deep breaths and it'll be fine. And let's see. I don't think I have anything else that I have to add to that. I still have my socks to repair. Oh, I did complete something else. It just didn't seem great. Archer had a pair of socks that I had bound off using a different bind off method just to try it out. It was too tight. He's what did he say? Uh-oh, too small, I think he said. And it was a struggle to get it on over his heel. I finally took the time to pick out my, I think that's why I avoided it. I sew things in pretty good, the tails. I really weave them in. And so if you hold them up to the light, you can see the extra fabric in there. And then I sat and I picked it out until it was all picked out. And then I had to redo half the cuff because I had pulled a whole bunch of like the actual stitches. So I had to pull it all the way down to all the messed up area and then re-knit the half that cuff. I didn't mess up the other one quite so bad, so it was just pulling out the top. And I went back to the Jenny's Simply Stretchy cast off. And fits perfectly, and he wore his socks all day yesterday. So I didn't bring them to show you because you've already seen them. It was just that the cast off was too tight. And I have a couple pair of socks sitting here that I've been avoiding for the exact same reason. And I was almost ready just to be like, I'm just going to let them go. But now I'm like, why? I need to pick out the... But if I was wondering how to do if you were this person, I was wondering how to pick out the sewn in tails, because what I do is I weave through the thread, the yarn, so it's actually splicing through all of the yarn threads and sew it in that way. It keeps my tails really secure. That's why I was worried about pulling it out, because I was like, I may have made it too secure to pull out. If you hold it up to the light, you can see where you've done it, and you can see where to start pulling it out and find those threads. Helpful hint, hold it up to the light, and then you'll be able to see to get your tail going. Or you can have a light below you and do it over the top. I just didn't have it set up to do it that way, so I did it the other way. So I still have that pile of socks to repair, and I might do that now that I've given it the go with Archer's socks. So he was happy and wore them, and I'm happy because now he can actually wear them. All right, I don't want to keep you too long. We're almost at 40 minutes already. So I will either see you on a video that follows me along on the repair of the turtle puppet, or I will see you in the next video. I'm going to try really hard not to wait so long, so it won't be quite so long of a video, and not let my winter depression take over and hinder me from that. All right, I'll talk to you later. Bye.